As a preamble to this video, I just want to point out two things that you should always keep in mind. Number one, the issue of consent. Never carry out an action with a significant other that they do not consent to. Unless they tell you that it's okay to do something, never do it, okay? You can get into a lot of trouble. In a lot of states, acting in ways without consent can lead you to prison. No fooling around. So always get consent for any activity. I mean, if you're not sure, just ask. It's just a simple matter of just asking and you'll know the answer, either yay or nay. So always carry out everything with consent insofar as your significant other is concerned. And number two, there is never an excuse for any kind of physical violence towards a partner. No kind of physical abuse. Whatsoever activity it is, if it's abusive, and which by definition is without consent, it's wrong. And never, ever, ever physically abuse anyone. Not just your significant other, anyone. In our contemporary culture, you can get into a boatload of trouble, apart from the very fact that it's wrong. So don't ever do that, okay? Those two issues. Always get consent and never involve yourself in anything that is physically abusive. Never carry out anything, any activity that is physically abusive, okay? Okay, now let me get started with the video. Now, I had to make those two caveats at the beginning of this video because what I'm going to be talking about is the issue of spanking your girlfriend. Your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other, whatever, okay? Now, the issue is, see, spanking a woman, well, how can I put it? See, for women, their ass is a huge erogenous zone. I suppose it's because of physical proximity. I mean, very obviously, their vulva is very close to their anus and to their buttocks generally. Okay, so women are very attuned to their buttocks, and spanking them or pinching their buttocks or any activity in that regard gets their attention. Okay? And it's a very interesting dynamic that's going on. I mean, that's why I'm doing this video on Patreon, man, because if I did this on like the regular channels, man, they'd ban my ass, okay? But, okay, so you have to understand that spanking or pinching a girl's ass, your girlfriend's ass, of course, it's a very subtle, how can I put it? It's a mind game that's going on. It's a very important mind game that you should master. Yeah, see, the problem with guys is that women are so much better at mind games than guys are. We suck at it. We're just not very good at it. And so we actually have to stop and think about how to play a mind game. And here's the secret, see? Spanking or pinching your girlfriend or wife's ass is, in a very real sense, a mind game that you are playing on her. And she's going to know it. She might not be able to articulate it, but she's going to know it. And it's a very subtle form of dominance that can help you in a lot of very interesting ways. Suppose you have a girlfriend, a long-standing girlfriend. You've been together for like a year or whatever, right? And see, you know, she does something that annoys you. Oh, whatever. She annoys it, and she knows that it's annoying you. At some later opportunity, you know, you're like maybe cooking dinner later that night. Maybe this happened like, you know, in the morning that you were out going wherever and she did something that annoys you and she knows that it annoys you, but you didn't say anything, right? Or didn't know how to respond in the moment or whatnot, okay? So later that very day, say it's a Saturday and you're making dinner at home, the two of you. Yeah, and you're both like in the kitchen area, you know, and at some point, you know, you're just joking around and talking. And it would be smart of you to lightly spank her. Lightly spank her, you know, just give her a little whack gently. Of course, never abusive, playful. And then tell her that, you know, it's punishment for having, you know, annoyed you earlier in the day. You pull that stunt and her eyes are going to go wide, but she's going to be smiling. Because a girl, a woman who's with you, she wants that feeling of you being in physical control of her. And spanking her or lightly pinching her buttocks, it gives that signal. And she knows it, and you know it. Or perhaps you haven't realized it, so I'm telling you, okay? Because maybe you didn't have anybody around to tell you, so I'm the guy who's gonna tell you. See, a woman knows it. A woman who is with you, your girlfriend of long standing, you pull that stunt and she's gonna know that you're in charge. It's a mind game that you're playing, a dominance game. And she's gonna know it, and she's gonna respond, and she's gonna like it. Because you have to understand that most women, fundamentally, they want to be dominated. They want to be controlled by the man in their lives. The problem is that so many men today have been educated into thinking that what women want are passive men who will do whatever the woman wants. No, 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 no. You know, I mean, they don't want that. They say that they want that, but they don't actually want that. They say that they want that. It's basically a shit test. It's basically trying to find the guys who will do that stupidity of doing whatever the woman wants. But a woman doesn't want that. Not at all. She wants the guy to just be independent of her whims and just follow his own, his own path. And she wants to go with him. But she doesn't want to be forging a path for the two of them. No, no, no. She wants to be the sidekick. She wants to be Robin. And she wants you to be Batman. You see what's going on here. So when you pinch her butt, when you spank her butt, lightly, gently, in a non-abusive sense. I keep having to repeat this so that there's no misunderstanding here, okay? But when you do that, what happens is that the woman realizes that you're running things. And why is it? Because it turns her on. A woman, you spank her and it will always turn her on, even when she's furious. And I've been able to extricate myself from a scolding by the woman I was with by spanking her while she was scolding me. And she was furious. She was furious, but it turned her on. And of course, when you as a man turn on the woman, even if she's scolding you, the scold just goes down in levels because her desire for you increases and overwhelms the scolding. And you wind up fucking her and it's great. But you see my point, see? It's a subtle thing. It's a subtle thing, but it's surprisingly important because the more I think about it, the more I realize that this kind of very gentle and very subtle signal of physical dominance goes a long way with a woman. Yeah, and it's totally reactive, mechanistic almost. A girl's butt is an erogenous zone. Every girl I've ever taken on a ride in my motorcycle, pillion, riding in the back, always wind up fucking her. Even if I haven't fucked her up to that moment and she hops on the back of my bike, shortly thereafter I'm gonna bang her. Yeah. I suspect it's because the vibrations of the motorcycle going up her butt turn her on. See? I mean, it's weird, but it's true. And it's something that a lot of women find very uncomfortable and dislike it, that people know about it. I mean, they like it when it's indulged in by the man that they desire, when the guy that they actually want is lightly spanking them or pinching their butt, always in an unexpected moment, in a way that will elicit a little yelp, but not of real pain, more of surprise. And of course, it'll just turn her on. Women like this. They like it a lot. And you, who are with a woman, and you want to smooth the situation with her and get her on your page, well, this is a tool for that. Again, and I have to insist, this is never abusive, never in a way that causes any kind of harm, okay? When I'm talking about light spanking, it's like, with the force of a light hand clap kind of thing. When I'm talking about pinching, it's like, gently pinching your own waist or something. I mean, something very gentle but surprising. That's the key ingredient. It has to be a surprise. It can't be expected. You can't go up to her and say, oh, I'm going to spank you. Oh, here it comes. No, no. It has to be out of the blue. And sometimes it works even best when she's in the middle of talking about something else, when she's focused on something else, when she's like doing something in the kitchen as she's talking to you, and all of a sudden you pass by and you lightly just spank her, gently, of course, in a non-harmful way, of course, well, you do that, it'll just shock her out of her, out of her rhythm, her mental rhythm, and shock her into your mental rhythm, and it'll turn her on, and it'll work for you. And on top of that, she will feel viscerally that you're the guy in control. It took me a long time to figure out this truth, that a woman wants you to be in control. It took me a long time to figure it out because as a man and my own particular personality, I always want to be the one in control. It took me years into my 30s, really, and sort of like into my 40s almost even, really, to understand that most people, not women only, but people in general, men and women, most people do not want to have control over what's going on. They want to cede control. They want somebody else to carry the responsibility of leadership. And that's a truth. And it's doubly so with women. I mean, I would venture to argue that of the male population, roughly 2/3 do not want to be in control. They want to cede control to somebody else, to some stronger personality. And you see it all the time. You see these individuals who are leaders, and they have like a whole coterie of followers who do whatever they ask, right? They're not suck-ups, they're followers, because most guys are followers, like I said, about 2/3. But insofar as women is concerned, I'd say 95% of them are that. The vast majority of women are like that. They want to be led. They want to know, not think, not hope, but to know that the guy that they are with is leading, is in control. And weirdly, a periodic, a once in a while, but a very surprising spank or pinch on the ass will get the woman to feel that about you, which is what you want. And of course, why do you want this? Why do you want the woman to feel that you are leading them in your lives together? Well, because that way you can focus on the things that are important and feel that she is aiding you and not merely a weight that you have to carry. You see? You don't want a woman in your life who is always testing you, because it's just exhausting. You want a woman who is confident in your ability to lead them both, to lead yourself and her in this journey through life. So if you do this, not all the time, just once in a while, in a very surprising way, in a way that sort of like shocks her, and of course leaves a smile on her face, right? She's sort of like, you spank her or pinch her and she's like, what did you do, right? And she like sort of like scolds you, but she's smiling. Then you got it made, okay? Yeah, I mean, if she scolds you and she's angry, then you screwed up. You screwed up either because you did it in a very inopportune moment, publicly, for instance. That's typical. Never do it in public, number one. Or you did it in a way that caused harm. Never do that. Yeah, never do that. But if you do it rightly, the right way, surprising but never hurtful, and in a way that is very clear that you're in control, she will feel calm and relaxed in your relationship with her. She will feel confident. And that way, you won't have to worry so much about the relationship. You can start focusing on other things that matter more, or not that matter more, but perhaps are more pressing. Issues of your career or your business or whatnot, or what it is that you're doing. Those are important issues that suck up all of your attention, your daily attention. And you want to be focused on that. And what you want from your woman is a woman who supports you, who is by your side, whom you can depend on. And this is one of the little tricks to help you get to that sort of relationship. Remember, there are only 3 reasons to be with a woman: regular sex, domestic comfort and companionship, and having children. Those are the 3 reasons in ascending order of importance. Now, the second reason, domestic comfort and companionship. You see, you want a woman who is by your side. You want a woman whom you can depend on. This is incredibly important. There's nothing worse than being with a person, a woman, or in the case of a woman with a man, whom you cannot depend on. That sense of insecurity sucks you out, sucks you dry. It just makes your life miserable. And in fact, you come to the conclusion that it's better not to have a relationship if you're going to be with somebody that you can't depend on. Because there are a lot of times that you need help. You need help, you need assistance, because no one can carry the weight all on their own. We all need assistance from time to time. And if the romantic partner that you have is not somebody that you can depend on, somebody that you can count on, then don't be with her. But if you create a feeling in your woman that you are in control, that you are confident, and you express this confidence by something as silly and ridiculous as, occasionally lightly spanking her or lightly pinching her butt. It's silly and ridiculous, but it sends the signal to her hind brain that you're in control. And once she knows that, not thinks it, not hopes it, when she actually knows that because you express yourself this way, then she will be fully committed to you, and therefore you can focus on things that you really need to focus on. As always, thank you so much for your support here on Patreon. I hope that you've been enjoying the content that I've been putting up here. Like I've said always, the point of the Patreon channel, at least for me, is to provide good value for money. And these weekly videos and the weekly webinar, I hope that you feel satisfied and that you will continue supporting me here on this channel. So thank you so much, and I will catch you next time.